Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast, a podcast where you can listen to me speaking English and I will teach you how to speak more like myself. My name is Pat. I'm from Toronto, from Canada. I live in Mexico at the moment where I teach people. Although I teach people all over the world because I teach people online, I'm having fun here teaching many people from all over. Well, today I've got a special guest on. My wife, Estefania, is going to chat with me today. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. We're going to get into some of her experiences living in Toronto. You see, she came to Toronto for about a year to come and study English there and to work and, well, to be with me, of course. I'm a real Prince Charming, and I swept her off her feet, brought her to Canada. Or else you could say I stole her from her family. And I brought her to Canada, and now she brought me back to Mexico, so she stole me right back, and now here I am in Mexico. However, we work together on quite a few things, including this, and I'm happy to have her on as a guest today. Hello, Estefania. Would you please tell my audience here?
Well, I'm a medical student, and I'm in the 6th year, so I'm more on my practices now. I'm just starting to talk more to people about the integrative ways they can be using or complementary medicine they could be using with their medical therapy alongside it. It's mostly when you're a doctor in these days, is what you want is to get people to know your name and know what you do. It's not like I have a business that with a mission and a vision or something like that. I'm my own business kind of thing. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, that's one of the cool parts of being a doctor, that you can choose whatever you want to do after you graduate. You can become a specialist and work at a hospital, or you can work have your own clinic and your own consult. Mm-hmm. And when you have your own consult, then you have to get yourself some notoriety.
We'll talk a little bit more about medicine and stuff like that later, because, of course, there's a whole world of things to talk about with that. But today we're here to talk about your English experiences. So, when you stepped away from your life in medicine and then into life in the big city of Toronto, Ontario. We were living in Western Toronto, and it was quite an experience. What did you think? You know, you arrived there, it was the middle of winter, it was something else.
Yeah, I remember when I arrived there, it was the first time I've ever seen snow, real snow. So it was coming into Winterland and Santa Claus and when Jack in the Nightmare Before Christmas goes into Christmas land.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
So, nice.
I just wanted to start jumping everywhere and singing that, what's this? What's this? There's colors everywhere song.
It was, well, you arrived on Christmas Day, actually. You arrived December 25th. And that was something because, yeah, you arrived right in the thick of it, right when winter was starting. So you didn't even get to enjoy a nice summer first. It just got straight to winter.
Well, I was getting straight to you.
Yeah, exactly. And the flights are cheaper on Christmas Day, so if you don't celebrate Christmas, which many people around the world don't celebrate Christmas, and you want to fly within North America, Christmas Day is a cheap day to fly. You can fly for less than usual. Keep that one in mind. Anyway, so you arrived, it was Christmas. What did you think of Christmas with a Canadian family? How was that? I mean, my family personally, it comes from England. My whole mom's side of the family, where we were celebrating Christmas that year. Everybody is of English descent. My grandparents are English. My uncles are English. We're all English. And so it was a typical English Christmas, you could say. What did you think?
Well, I expected to see all your family and your aunts and uncles and cousins. I noticed like a different how people had like a personal distance like bigger than in any other like family reunion I've been. Like normally in Mexican Christmases, you're just pushing everyone around because like you're in like a small house or playing with people or you're sitting all around the same table. But in here it was like everyone was all around the house. The younger people were playing in one area. The older people were just talking one on one, or I don't know, like tops four people involved in one conversation. So that was, I think, hard to go through because I would walk in one place and there would be like one conversation, then I would walk in a different place and there would be like a whole different change of conversation. So it was like hard to also like change in the way people speak from one room to the other one because like the older people were like they have a different way to speak than the younger people. Like I think it's easier for me to understand the younger people, I guess, because I was raised looking at younger or watching younger people, like people my age, movies and stuff. So I guess it's just easier to understand people my age.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Like, I could see that. But in reference, though, to what you were saying, I did notice that as well, the opposite in your family. Everybody, you guys are loud, and you're loud because everybody's talking at the same time. I can't make heads or tails of it myself. I'll be trying to have a conversation with one person, and they're not interested in having a conversation with one person. People want to just all yell at each other. Everybody's yelling across the room and laughing and every couple minutes, look at this. And my family, we are like, we're a little quieter, you could say. Exactly, a
And
little
here you
quieter.
walk in the door, and everyone's like, "Hello, Patrick. Oh, you're here now. Oh, you were so late. We were all waiting for you to start like the pray or whatever they're waiting for you for." But like they say hi to you from like the other side of the room sometimes. And that never happens in Canada unless like you're the only expected person.
Well, I noticed, yeah, with your family, you got to walk around and talk to everybody and give hugs and kisses to everybody. And yeah, in Canada, you just like you go in and you just see the people that you like, and you just give a little wave and you say, "Hey, I'm here," and that's it. If people want to come and talk to you, they'll come and talk to you. If people are looking to hang out with you, they'll let you know. But yeah, here in Mexico, you even got to go to the people you don't like and give them a kiss. So you even got to go to. I notice, even if I don't like this cousin, we had an argument over Facebook, but you got to go and give them a kiss because it's your family. Yeah, in my family, I mean, we do say hi to everyone. We're polite, but we don't go. We're not that open with everyone. So totally. Now, how about we'll fast forward a little bit. So yeah, you got there on Christmas. That was quite the experience. Let's fast forward a little bit to the middle of the winter living in Canada. Of course, it was cold and there were some adjustments, but you said that you kind of liked it because it was like having an air conditioner everywhere you go. And then you said something, I remember you had something funny about when you'd sit down in the bus beside people or something like that. So tell me about
So everyone in the winter in Toronto would wear um what the winter coats, the
Mm-hmm.
big this big like fluffy coats that like the fluffiest, the warmest, I guess. So
Mm.
like I had myself, my mom got me um a winter coat. So myself, I for myself I had a nice fluffy like it was fluffy enough that whenever I sat down, like it was like having a cushion. So when you sit down in the bus, so you're waiting for the bus and it's like super cold. Like, well, you have your coat and your boots. Like if you're well prepared for it, it's okay. But for me, like I would have to wear three leggings, and it would still feel cold. So I would just like wait there with my hands in my pocket, and like I would always have a hat, and my cheeks would be just feeling super cold. And then when the bus would finally come down, you would get in and it would like be all warm, like
Mm.
inside, and then you would sit in like in the middle of two people, and it would feel like sitting in like just a couch, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
the people were usually really fluffy too. Well, their coats.
Yeah, everybody's nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
Just keep fluffing each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's a nice like it's so nice, especially when you're holding like a coffee or something, because it's like you just feel warm,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it's a nice like climate change.
Toronto. Did it feel funny to you at all walking into a city that is so diverse? Like when I first arrived in Monterey, I felt weird because it was like everybody has the same color hair, same color eyes, and people are not very diverse in the way that they look. There is some diversity, definitely. You do get people of other ethnicities here, but for the most part, you don't see a lot of multiculturalism or diversity in terms of physical characteristics. However, in Canada, or at least if you go to Toronto, you get the whole world within the city. You've got people coming from Africa, people coming from East Asia, Middle East, Europe, everywhere. They are in that one city. So, how did that feel to you, being in such a diverse place?
Well, it wasn't too much of like a shock to me, I'd say, or like a culture shock, because you told me it was like that, so I anticipated that. So it wasn't that big of a shock for me, like a cultural shock. And also, like, yeah, like in my school, there used to be like I would always have a German teacher from some other place or a French teacher from some other place. I think it's more like once you start knowing the people from other cultures, when you start getting that culture shock, then just seeing them all around.
Like maybe making some friends really opened up your eyes to what's going on around you there. It's not just Japanese food or Brazilian steakhouse, but the people that are within there. That's where you can really find the gold, you could say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like in school, like there would be people from Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, Mexico, Peru, all over. So you could notice how, like, for example, for me, it was easier to get Brazilian friends because, like, the Latin culture, it's similar. Well, yeah, like, we have a lot of cultural similarities.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easier, I think, to get to know them. Plus, they're always super friendly. Like,
Mm.
it's like Brazilians are like the friendliest people. And you can notice, like, it was so funny because um, I don't remember if you, I don't know if you remember when we had a couple of Brazilian friends living upstairs.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you remember that we went in the bus one day and then like another couple of Brazilians got in and somehow they detected that they were both like they were all Brazilians and then they started yelling from one side of the bus to the
I
other
remember
one?
hearing about that. Yeah, I don't think I saw it, but I remember, yeah. Yeah, and it totally, yeah, they could just see each other and pick up on it. These guys are Brazilians.
Yeah. It's weird cuz I've never gone to Brazil, but I think Brazilians all look so different. Like I don't know how they pick up their Brazilian like I think they have like every Brazilian I met like has like a different cult not like they look totally different.
You couldn't just put a face on somebody and say, this person's Brazilian. It's like similar to Toronto. You couldn't just put a face on someone and say, this is a Torontonian. Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing about that. It's a melting pot. People all over the world there.
Yeah, I think that's eventually gonna happen. Like it's even here like I've had friends that look totally like Japanese and they're Mexican. So you can't like put exactly. I think that's really cool of the world now. That's something that's nice about globalization that you can just start not with the face of their habit.
Yeah, well, like with wherever they are. Like I met someone before who was Danish, and but he was fairly dark skinned. And when you think of somebody from Denmark, you think of a very, light skinned person, maybe blonde hair, something like that. That's how a lot of Danish people typically look. But this guy, his background was Middle Eastern, but he himself was living in, or was raised in Denmark. He was born in Denmark, raised in Denmark. He spoke Danish. He had a Danish accent for his English. And yeah, of course he's Danish. Of course he is. Raised in the Danish culture. So I get what you mean. It's not like 100 years ago you could just point at someone and say, this person's from there. Nowadays, it's so mixed. People are from all over the place.
Yeah, and it's gonna keep on going on. Like no one's gonna know where our kids are from.
Oh, yeah, no, not a chance. I was actually just talking with a student about this yesterday. He was telling me that to him, he was an Indian gentleman, and he was telling me that to him, people from Mexico look very similar to people from northern India. He said, he said if he were to see someone from Mexico, if he didn't hear them speak, he would just assume that they were Indian because of just the facial features and stuff like that. And it's interesting. It's true. Like, people look like people. That's all there is to it. I mean, we're from all over the place, but people just look like people.
Yeah, I remember when I was living in Toronto, I would be mistaken by an Indian a lot. Like people would think I'm Indian and before thinking I'm Mexican.
I guess the thing is in Toronto, you don't see very many Mexican people. Like, I found definitely there are more people from India than from Mexico. Yeah, in Toronto, I noticed, for Latinos, you got lots of Colombians, lots of Venezuelans, a number of people I've met from Cuba, but I haven't met too many people from Mexico. Why leave Mexico? I'm here in Mexico. I like it here. Well, I'm pretty happy. I'll be honest, this is a beautiful place to live. We do just about actually got to wrap things up for today, but this is interesting, learning about cultural experiences. We're going to have some more chats like this now and then because why not? Why not? This is a podcast. We're just talking, just having fun, enjoying ourselves, and we are good at it. So, do you have any closing words that you'd like to say for today, Mrs. Bateman?
I just want to tell everyone to do some self-care today.
Do some self-care. Do you have any tips? Maybe people can stretch. Can they eat anything healthy? What can they do?
Drink some water.
Drink some water. Drink water. Why is drinking water good for you, doctor?
Because you are 70% water.
70% of our bodies are water. Wow. That is a lot of water. So, drink water. Keep on adding to it. Will I grow more if I drink water?
No, because you lose water all the time. Like, you lose water just for the fact of existing.
So it's just flowing in and flowing out.
So you want to keep it flowing in.
Keep that water flowing in. And as I've mentioned in the past, cucumber water. Cucumber water. Treat yourself to some cucumber water today, full of electrolytes, full of things to lower your blood sugar. I'm not the doctor here. My wife is. So she hasn't corrected me on it. We're just going to say that means I'm right. Have a wonderful day. That's that. Have a good one.